All right. Hello, everyone. Here we are with Ariel. Hello, Ariel.
Hi.
And we are here with Baby.
Baby.
Baby is also here. All right. So I'm going to talk to Ariel, which has been in my intensives, which is now my private client, which has done amazing. And the first question I want to ask you is, you had some success in the past. You had a 70K launch, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day. But you got burnout, right? And you got exhausted, and it was difficult, and you took a break, or you wanted to take a break. Can you tell everyone how that felt, like the frustration, how you felt, how everything was about? Because I know a lot of people works hard in order to get what they want. You're going to tell them how was your emotional life, and what was kind of your secret thoughts in your head?
Yeah. So I was working all the time, like I was trying to get myself sort of like revved up in the morning to be excited to go and work on, content or marketing or funnel or whatever I was doing. And, I would get up early, and then I would just like work and work and work and work. And every single like ounce of time that I had was for like working on stuff. I would like forget to eat. That was a thing. But yeah, I was like pretty drained, and I would like get excited, and then I would get frustrated. And then I would be frustrated that I wasn't like spending time with he's not my husband, but my boyfriend at the time. I was just feeling really, really like burnt out. And the other crazy thing is that when people would want to spend time with me, like friends, I would be like irritated because like I would want to spend time with them, but I would be so frustrated because I felt like I had to keep, working, and just had a lot of, it was like a brick wall around my time, kind of. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. So why did you burn out?
Well, for one, I was just working all the time. For two, I was not, she's like looking around. Hi, are you done? For two, I was really, I was not using my intuition in like the work I was creating. So I would use it with clients, but I wasn't using it to its full extent. And they knew, okay, I'm intuitive, but there were some things that I wasn't always saying. And I didn't have boundaries either, like around my time or around, what I was available for. So clients that I would take on, or clients, not doing the work, things like that.
Yes. Awesome. And before, is it around the same time, but you also done, before you came to me, you also done $10,000 sales. But tell everyone, how that was, what it is that you sold, and what happened after the sale. Like you got the sales, and then what happened, and how that whole experience was for you.
Yeah. So I was doing the sales, and before the sale, I was like, oh my God, I have to make these $10,000 sales. I have these bills to pay. Like, holy shit, this is what I have to do. And I was freaking out. And so I was like jumping up and down, like doing what I called the Tony Robbins, like pounding on my chest, doing like really crazy stuff in order to, doing really crazy. Oh, sorry. So sorry.
Oh no, it's so good.
She's hung up on my headphones. Doing really crazy stuff in order to like feel like I was at a high vibration or something, in order to like attract these people. And like I would like visualize the people and be like, you're coming into my energy, sphere, like stuff like that, like crazy stuff. And so I would do that. And then, I did work myself up to this like level where I felt really confident on the call, and I would sell the $10,000 packages. But what happened is that I attracted, it was like half and half. Like some people would like be like really amazing and do the work and like rock it out, and then other people would like not do it. But the other thing is that I wasn't I didn't feel confident in my intuition. So like, even if I would get an insight about something, I would be really concerned about, okay, what is this person going to think if I say that thing? And then I wouldn't say it, and then they wouldn't do it. And so, if that makes sense, it was like a whole roundabout thing where I was attracting people who weren't getting the results necessarily. And sometimes it was frustrating to work with them, and I'm sure they were frustrated with me.
So how did that affect your confidence when you were taking people on and they like didn't get it?
Yeah. It was frustrating. It was really frustrating. And my confidence definitely went down. I was like, am I, cut out for this? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Maybe I don't want to even do one-on-one at all. That was like a thing where I was like, maybe one-on-one is not what I need to do. I just need to do, programs and not speak to people whatsoever.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know that's the same thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So what happened? Why didn't you make any sales that whole year?
So, well, I did make some sales, Charlotte, but
I did 10,000.
Yeah. So I actually was like, okay, I need to, she's so happy. Yeah. I was like, I need help. I need to do something. And I was, working with some people and like mentors and things like that. And, I felt like I just needed to kind of create like funnels and do all these other things. Like I felt like I just wasn't doing enough. And yeah, I was sort of like told to like go do something different, that intuition and business couldn't really work together at all. And so I did that because I trusted that person, and I thought I needed to like scale more. So there was a lot of that stuff. And I was really frustrated. And I also, because of the trajectory that I was on, like this, doing all of these things, like doing all the things and feeling like I had to scale more and hire more people and get this big team going and, do all this stuff. I was like, how in the world am I ever going to do all these things and have a baby? Like if I can hardly keep track of myself right now and I'm drinking like 4 shots of espresso a day just to like keep my eyeballs awake, like how am I ever going to do this with a baby, And, and so I was really angry because I was like, oh my God, this baby's coming and I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I think, all of that affects, if you're really stressed out like that, all of that affects what you do in your business.
Yeah. Yeah. So why did you actually think that you needed, more structure and more marketing and stuff like that to get the sales?
Because that's the only thing that I had seen. I'd only ever seen or worked with anybody who was working 80 to 100 hours a week or more to do it. That's all I had ever seen.
Got it. So tell everyone, when you first came to me, you were like, had gone a little bit down, and you were having a baby, and she was about to pop, people. Like she was literally about to give birth when she came, like super pregnant. But I remember you tried to sell $25,000 and you didn't get that, and you tried to sell a lot of different kinds of stuff. But exactly what was the problem with your prospects and what was happening, and how did you feel?
So I had seen someone else do this and I was like taught to do this, and basically was trying to sell like a larger package that had a lot of things involved, and a lot of like support and stuff like that. And instead of allowing people to come to me who were like, the dream people who I wanted to work with, who really got it and all of that, I was trying to reach out to other people who I like thought would, be a good fit for it, or like I thought would, that I would want to work with. I wasn't really doing much client attraction, if you will. Mm-hmm. And also it was like such a long, like it was like a really, like, it was like a 6-month thing, you know? So like thinking of it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, how exhausting that would have been. Thank God no one signed up for it.
Thank God. Yeah, because I remember you had quite some sales calls. But what happens on the sales call? What kind of objection did you get, and what was happening?
Well, even when I was trying to sell, even when I was like selling like a $4,000 or like a $5,000 like mastermind, I would get objections like, I can't afford it, or it's not the time right now, or I'm already working with somebody else. Or I need to talk to my husband. I mean, those are all of like the major ones that I would get.
Yes. And how did you feel about yourself when things didn't work and you were just there and it was just frustrating?
I think I felt like, when is this ever going to get easier? Is it always going to be super hard like this? And is it going to be that it's really, really hard, like with every, like as the price goes up for what I do, is it going to continue to be hard? And do I have anything that's like really unique to offer right now? And it wasn't it wasn't like, do I have anything unique to offer? It was like, is this even going to help people kind of thing?
The thing you sold?
Yeah. I mean, I knew that it would, but I think those are the thoughts that came in when I would get the objections, is the point.
Yeah. That's kind of key, people. Because I'm going to explain this as well. But what happens when you want to sell higher, when you want to sell $10,000 and everything, it's not about getting the sales, but it's about knowing that when you get the sale, you're going to get a testimonial. Like, your process inside and out so well that confidence just everywhere, and people don't stop questioning you. So tell everyone what happened. You stepped into my intensive, and yes. Tell them what happened.
It was within 72 hours, I believe is what it was. I had sold a $12,000 program.
Yeah.
For 3 months.
Yeah. And you made 24.
And it was so easy. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, just say you made 24 in a week.
Yes. Did $24,000 in sales in a week.
Yes. And the cash was really good too as well. I remember.
Yeah.
And how did that happen? Tell people the difference. What changed?
The difference was that I was speaking my truth, basically. Like, I was saying exactly what I wanted to say. I wasn't worried about what anyone thought. Can you hear over this?
Yeah.
Noise? Okay. I wasn't afraid of what, anybody thought. I was saying exactly what I wanted. On the, you done?
Sweet. Yeah.
On the call itself, on the sales calls, I wasn't afraid of asking like deeper questions about things. I wasn't, afraid of saying, look, here's what's going on. Here's what we need to do about it. I just became not afraid, I think, is like the biggest thing that happened of anything. And I didn't even realize I was afraid before, but I didn't realize I was.
So how did the sales come about?
Let's see. Well, people reached out to me like directly. They were like, I want to get on the call with you. I've seen what you've been doing. It really resonates with me. It's different from what other people are doing. I don't want any of like the BS anymore that I just keep seeing being like pushed around in the coaching industry. And that was it.
Yeah, because that's a big change. Because when you came to me, we were like trying to, get people on the phone and like reaching out to people. And what literally changed was people would come to you. Right? You actually didn't do that. And that's a huge thing for people. Like, when you're really connected to yourself, when you really know your intuition, when you know your gifts, when you know yourself, people are going to come and ask you for the sale. And that's what makes it easy. Right? And it literally happened within 72 hours, and this chick hadn't done it in like a year. And it was like the biggest time collapse ever, by the way. When it comes to time collapse. So how was it to experience that for you? The ease?
It was like, well, I think for a little bit of time, it was like, all right, cool. Like, this is great. And then when I got into like the $20,000 sales, and it was like, people would just like reach out and then like within like 3 hours sign up, with the 20,000, that's when it was like, this can't be real. Like, is this like for real? That's how it was.
Yeah. Because I remember you were in shock. Like, I remember you messaging me and were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, this happened within 72 hours. Like, you were really going there because it's been so long. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, that's what happened. As I remember it, for your brain, like, it was really a profound shift. And like, she was literally.
You probably remember it way more than I do.
Yeah, she was literally having the baby at the same time, you know.
Oh yeah,
this was happening. So the baby was like, and she did. I think you did your sales while you were holding your baby and feeding your baby.
Yeah, the baby had just been born, and actually, I was selling like my own like group program at the same time, too. But yeah, the baby had just been born, and I was doing sales calls with her.
That's so awesome. Like, to all the moms, just drop the excuse. just drop it. It doesn't need to be hard at all. It's just very sweet. So let me ask you, what's different? What would you say? What has really changed in your confidence in yourself versus when you tried, you know, I'm sure, you know, when you're working on limiting beliefs and, you know, changing your mindset and money mindset and blah, 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 all this kind of thing. What has really changed in your confidence after you've been in the intensive and started to work with me?
Well, physically, I don't think I've said a mantra since we started working together.
No.
I used to post like mantras everywhere and all kinds of things like that. I'm just not doing any of it anymore. I mean, I look at, okay, what are the parallels in my life? You know, I look at, you know, okay, what is this like belief that I have, or what's this thing that's going on that's making the sale not happen? And then I take an action to, like, once I get that. But in terms of sort of like journaling about it forever and being like really upset, or, you know, sort of like going into it and like writing mantras that are like the opposite of it, things like that. I don't really do that stuff anymore.
And how has your confidence as a spiritual gifted individual changed in your delivery?
How has it changed? I mean, like, I know, like, now I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm like really fucking intuitive. So like, you need to listen to what I'm saying. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, because you didn't have that when you came to me.
No.
She was scared. She was really, really scared. So tell people, how does it have to have that crystal confidence in that you are the fucking shit and you really know that and you deliver that? How has that changed? How you do your sales and how you market and just everything?
Well, people like literally come to you and they're like, I have to work with you. Instead of you feeling like it's a struggle to get sales calls or a struggle to sell or anything like that, like, there's objections don't really happen. People reach out to you. I mean, the amount of people, this doesn't matter, but the amount of people who follow me on a daily basis on my personal page is like ridiculous. Or like the amount of people who like reach out over Messenger or like, you know, or post on my videos and things like that. It's like, it's just really easy when you're, it's really easy to attract people who are like your people, who really get it, who speak your same language, who will do the work, who are excited, who trust your insight, who have their own, you know, who are not being victims whatsoever. It's so much easier to attract people who are like that when you actually are like, these are my gifts, I'm fucking epic, here's what I do.
This is awesome, because this is the essence of what I wanted to say today. Because before Ariel, you know, came to me, she was kind of insecure, and I was selling these structures, and we were selling, you know, different kinds of things, not really knowing. So what we did was like, we made her aware on what she's epic at. So she started to sell her own delivery. She started to sell that So if I put you in the desert and said, hey, here's Facebook, here's a phone, get a sale, would you do it?
Yeah, that'd be easy.
That's the point. But before that, that would be really difficult. So it will be weird. You know, you don't really know. You don't even know how to do that. But the moment you are crystal clear, what I call your crystal ball, like you really know what's going to happen with the client, which you're signing on, you own your worth. You know, you don't have to, what we did with you don't have to work on your fucking money blocks when you know that you know that you know that you are the best mentor alive and they should work with you. Like, it's a crime not to work with you. Right. And that confidence just influence your marketing and influence everything. And, you know, you literally don't get the same objections than you used to do. And people come because A, people feel it, and B, you bring the results. So one of the biggest things after Ariel came along as well was, what happened to your clients' results?
They're like really fast.
Tell them.
Consistent and really fast. One client did, she had her first $20,000 month and she'd only made $2,500 in like the year previous. One client, had only been ever charging like hourly sales or like hourly sessions. And she did like her first $10,000 month. Another client did $17,500 in 1 month after just like a couple of our sessions. And she had only ever been charging hourly as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that didn't happen before.
No. I have somebody else who just like from the discovery call did like $20,000 sales.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what happens, people, when you know that you know that you know that there's no other mentor on the planet than you. Right. Like when you want to sell higher, when you sell 10 or 20 or stuff like that, you sell your service. You don't sell your marketing. You don't sell a system. You sell why your intuition is better than anybody else's intuition. Literally, to be honest with you, because everybody got a genius. Everybody is unique. And once you know that you know that you know, you just need a phone and you are ready to go. You know, you don't even need a phone. You just need a person to talk to be quite honest. And how would you say working with me has been different than anything you've done?
Oh.
She was really...
Ooh. She was good for so long.
Yeah. We don't mind some crying.
I'm sorry.
It's so good.
I don't have a pacifier, so I'm using my finger. Yeah, because I'm hippy dippy like that. So how has been it's so different, just in terms of like my confidence and the things that you tell me to do, and that you like I don't feel like I really came to you with like sob stories or anything like that, but like you don't really give a fuck. Like if I have a sob, like if I come to you and I'm like, you know, oh my God, this happened, that happened. Like I know I can't come to you ever and be like with excuses about anything, you know? I think that's the difference. Like even from our sales call, I was like, oh my God, she's such a badass. Like, I'm scared. What's going to happen? You know, but no, I wasn't scared. There's a different like level of certainty that you have, and, you know, and like expectation that you have. Oh, I love you. There's a different level of...
We do baby cry. That's not a problem.
No. Okay. So normally, oh, here. Okay, there. Just a little bit of time. So yeah. So there's a whole other level of like expectation that you have. And just in terms of like what you tell me to do, it's much different. It's not about doing, you know, all the it's not about doing all the things. I'm being relieved, I think. Oh, I love you. Here, honey. Thank you. Okay. So it's not about, okay, honey, I need you to leave. Thank you. So it's not about, doing all the things. There's a multitude of things that you tell me to do, but it's your intuition. You're telling me, okay, you need to do, there's a multitude of different things you tell me that I need to do, but it's not structural. It like builds confidence. Helps me know how epic I am. There's all kinds of things. I don't know. It's just completely different. It's nothing like I've ever done before.
So think of the person which was you, which is thinking about, okay, I want to work with Charlotte. Like, can you speak to that person that you were because I remember what you told me. You were like, it's not possible to make money without photo shoots. What would you say to that person that's thinking about it and how you changed?
Yeah. I would just I think I would help them see that everything that they've been doing is sort of a facade. It's sort of just like, a pretty picture, kind of thing. It doesn't actually matter. And that working together sort of gets to the core. It really does get to the core of like what makes you sell, what makes you sell, and you. And it doesn't have anything to do with a facade or a photo shoot or who you know or who you're pictured with or if you're flying to New York City or like whatever, none of that stuff matters whenever you do the other work where you understand what you actually do and how to sell.
Yeah. So how is your relationship with your intuition and gifts right now from what it was before?
It's vastly different. It's really straightforward and really direct. So it's like, I know something comes in, I know how it works, boom, I say it, and then we move on. Whereas before it was wishy-washy in terms of like, I was like, is that really my intuition or is it not? Or, and also, I think that there were things that I perceived as my intuition previously that were not. So like, for example, like sensing different like presences around or like things like that. There was some different like things that I didn't think were fear, but they were, that I was perceiving as other things.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Because one of the things that you get here is a peace of mind, meaning that you're really confident in yourself, you're really confident in intuition, and you're not operating from fear. And then your true feminine ideas, your true intuition, and why you're so fucking awesome could just appear. Like, that you are that. And that's the beautiful thing about you. And you have done some pretty cool things in June. You did $49,000 booked and $28,500 cash, right?
Yeah.
And you've done some pretty cool stuff in July.
Yes.
What have you done?
I've done 80,000 booked. I believe it's actually more than that.
Yes. I'm going to do a proper thing with that one, but you have really kicked ass. So what's the last thing you want to say to people that are thinking about going into the intensive?
Going into the intensive, is that what you said?
Yeah, the first thing you started with.
Yeah. Oh man, do whatever it takes to like get in it, because it's going to be really, really fast that things happen. Yeah. And whatever the fears are, just say fuck you to the fears. That's all.
Okay. Awesome, Ariel. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let me